chose receives the bye.
The first one's drawn.
The first one's drawn. So the first drawn in full sections were
Australia?
Any further discussion? This is, correct me if I'm wrong, and maybe with the bye, with the year off, but is this the 40th?
This is our 40th. Yeah, I do have some closing remarks.
Please do.
This year marks the 40th Junior League World Series. We played in Taylor, making us one of the longest running international youth sporting events in the world. The JLWS will begin our opening ceremonies on Saturday, August 13th. You'll have a chance to meet all the teams, and we'll conclude with the ceremony with a very nice fireworks display. Tournament games will begin on Sunday, August 14th. Games will play throughout the week, and you'll be able to see every game on ESPN+. Our championship game will be on Sunday, August 21st, and will be televised live on ESPN2. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chairman,
Yes.
did we explain what it means when you pick what do these mean to the audience? Like what do the picking the balls mean?
They set the brackets and the order of the competition within the two regions. So there's the international region, so that's why we chose those separately, and then there is the United States. And ultimately, it's a head-to-head competition, given the fact that we there is not a number, one of the teams receives a bye, so they automatically make it to the second round. So this is, at least for you and I, we talked about last night that this is relatively new, possibly maybe in the last 10 years, but to ensure, again, transparency, this isn't being done by the host Little League. It's being done in a public forum, and we may even have a team or two watching us this evening from around the world. If they're watching from Asia Pacific, it's about almost 7 o'clock in the morning, so hello to all those in the Asia Pacific region and around the world. Yes?
I'd just like to take a minute. This is the 40th year. I'd like to give a nice round of applause for all the volunteers and everybody that does everything to put this on.
Well, and I would say one other thing. After our team went and won the World Series in Williamsport last year, it was something that I'd like to think about, and along with the council. If you look at our seating arrangements versus Williamsport, we can certainly step up our game a bit. Maybe look to partner with maybe the Detroit Tigers, but we have continuously improved that venue. I will say that Williamsport, of course, is a far nicer facilities, but that is something to aspire to.
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Mayor.
I agree with you 100% on that. But just to kind of piggyback on what Charlie said, this being the 40th year, the tournament director, longtime, the founder of it, Greg Lazura, did officially retire this year. And the new tournament director is our Chief of Staff, Dan Lazura.
Congratulations to Dan, and let's could give another round of applause to Greg Lazura. Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Chairman, I have one more, and it's item 6.3, and that is a motion to approve authorizing the mayor to sign a resolution calling for the state of Michigan and county of Wayne to allocate American Rescue Act Plan funds in support of the Downriver Utility Wastewater Authority.
Motion.
Support.
Motion by Councilman Ramick, supported by Councilwoman Witt. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say yes.
Yes.
All those opposed say no. The yeses have it, motion carried. Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Chairman, that is all I have. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Moving on to the regular agenda, item 7.1 is a motion to approve the first reading of an ordinance titled Johnson. Is there any support? To the Vice Chairwoman Pro Tem, let me please pass the gavel for the duration of this item.
Okay, is there any support?
Support?
Okay. So I have a motion to approve the first reading of an ordinance titled marijuana commercial businesses. Any discussion from the council? Mr. Johnson?
Mr. Geis, could you explain the difference between the two?
Certainly. 7.1 is the enacting ordinance. 7.2, and then 7.1 will reference zoning definitions. So the difference between the two documents, one is a new ordinance which combines the recreational as well as medical marijuana. So within the city of Taylor right now, medical marijuana is, facilities are already approved. The previous council approved medical. So as we go forward, the idea is that it would be harmonious, both medical and recreational. So under 7.1, that is the enacting ordinance. And then 7.2 amends the City of Taylor zoning ordinance under Article 3 of Chapter 11, where it adds in the definitions specifically for recreational marijuana establishments. And within that document, you will see limitations in terms of the areas where they can be located, as well as the distances from schools, playgrounds, licensed childcare, youth centers. So the two documents have to be read holistically to understand, if passed, to understand the full scope of what these ordinances would do. And I will also, Madam Chair.
Yes.
Thank you. Both of these are patterned on Kalamazoo's ordinances that are already on the books. In speaking with their corporation counsel, separately from ours, free, I did request the original documents from the corporation counsel in Kalamazoo. I believe they're roughly about the same size that we are. They currently have about 10 licensed establishments, or at least at last count. They are generating, I believe, close to $500,000 to $600,000 per year, and there are no stated issues with those 10 establishments currently operating in the city of Kalamazoo. One of the follow-up items is that the state law has changed since these were drafted in April. So this being the first reading, if it were passed, Corporation Council, we would then direct Corporation Council to tweak those things that I believe the city of Kalamazoo is about to implement as well.
Mr. Johnson?
Through the chair, so if this fails, do we expect that the medical facilities will be able to get their application and their licenses and start growing for medical purposes and selling for medical purposes?
Well, I think that we're on this motion for now, so I think that would be a question.
This combines the two, I think.
Oh, excuse me?
Okay, here.
Okay. Can you speak into the microphone, Mr. Johnson?
I think it combines the two. This first one combines the two. If it don't pass, then we still have the medical. And that's been 2 years now. And so at some point, we gotta have, we gotta have an application process.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Johnson. Is there any more comments from the council?
Madam Chair?
Chairman Geis.
All right, just to add to that, the medical marijuana is not being repealed as part of this. If this were to pass, the medical marijuana ordinance that is on the books, if this passed, you in the city of Taylor. And I believe we talked about that there is no application